We're coming down to the moment of truth with the Echo Weed Whip right here. The question is, can it cut it? I'm over here picking up some more auction items. What can I say? I can't pass up a deal. So I got this weed whip here. When I bought it, it said that it had a broken primer bulb and it didn't. So that seems to be, and I just started it up right now and it runs okay. I wasn't able to hit the throttle. Of course, I didn't give it a chance to really warm up. So that might, hopefully everything runs well. The idea behind this is to do some modifications to actually get it to cut down trees. So, or at least small trees. So, pretty pleased with this. This is probably going to take precedence over the button right now because I can use it now. I have a use for it right now, whereas the button, nothing, the grass isn't growing. So, but overall, I haven't been disappointed. So it's actually pleasantly surprised me. I'm really impressed with it. It started right up, ran well, let it warm up, drove the whip perfectly fine. So normally I would be like, let's replace the lines and everything else because it's a new item and I want it to last a while before I have to maintain it again. New plug, new filter, all that fun stuff. I'm not going to do this because I actually have a use for this thing like right now and just needs some modifications. And the only issue that I found with it is right here, this guard, it lost its screws at some point in time. So what I'm going to do is do something a little different and change things up on that and do some modification because I don't want the weed whipper head on this. I want something different. And I'm going to show you what. So I got this kit right here. This is the genuine Echo replacement parts. Whoa. Now it's the SRM Universal Blade Kit. And this whipper is actually the SMR 266. So it should fit this perfectly. The 266, I was really surprised because they had this listed at I think 21 cc's. It's just under 25 cc's when I looked up the information afterwards. So it's actually got some power to it. It's got some kick. The other thing too is the blade that this kit comes with is not the blade I'm going to be using. I bought a different blade. I want more of a saw blade on the end. I want it to be able to cut through wood, some small trees and things like that. So we're going to convert this to a brush cutter, put this killer blade on it. And yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about this because I've wanted one of these for a while, and I already have a use for it, and I'm ready to go with it. If the weather holds up, we actually got snow yesterday. Then it warmed up, it turned into rain. All the snow's gone, but we'll see. I'll be able to take this until we start getting snow on the ground. That's gonna stick around for a while. So yeah, I got a use for this. So we're gonna take care of this right now. Okay, we got the weed whipper. I took the jewelry. It's off. It's all mine now. I can't return it. I couldn't return it anyways, but I digress. So the first thing we need to do is get this head off. And in order to do that, that comes out, I believe, this spool. Or maybe not. Yeah, that should come out. So this is going to take a while for me to figure it all out, but yeah, this should all come apart fairly easy. Ultimately, this locks somehow, and we're probably going to have to look up, because in this kit, I did make sure it had these screws for this new kit. That was one of the big things for this, and why not? I was going to get it. I ended up going to the farm store for this. It was a little cheaper than Amazon, by like a couple bucks. And I wonder if they even tell me how to take that off. So it's about stone harness clamp. So what I can tell is I believe this might be 227 maybe. that's it. This is the first screw, and I'll probably need a screwdriver as well. Typically that comes off. Usually there's something you can do to hold the shaft on by sticking a screwdriver or some other straight thing in one of these holes, and that does not do it. So thinking that might actually have to come off, as they're saying in the picture, which is very strange. A lot of effort to replace the head. All right, so we got this sucker. We got to try to figure out how to get the head off. I'm guessing that that screw right there probably has something to do with it. All you need to do is get a screwdriver and stick it in this hole. And that doesn't do anything. Okay, after destroying the head on this, I finally figured out how to do it. There's a little hole here. It actually lines up with another hole in the shaft right here. And then you're able to turn it off. It did not want to come off. I did have to put it in a vise and twist it. And as I always say, never force anything. Always get a bigger hammer. So we got it off. What we're going to do is clean all this up, put in some new grease while we're here. You see all this grass and stuff that has gotten into it over the years. And this is just a kind of get all that cleaned out. We can put in some new grease. I'm gonna have to go through my cabinets to find the grease. This is not grease, this is new finish. Find the grease. We'll clean this up a little bit better. Put in some fresh grease. Worst case scenario, I'll just take it out of the grease gun and put it in there. In order to get the grease in here, it's just a matter of filling it in. So that shouldn't be too big of an issue. All right, we'll go back to the weed whip head. Okay, so we got to start with step one, which is getting this guard put back on the shaft here. And we're actually going to go ahead and put this shaft back on. Looks like I hit the hole. And it even came with a fun little cool tool that I needed to take this apart with. So I guess tools were included for at least most of it. So yeah, now that I destroyed that weed whipper head, and I'm going to have to replace it if I ever want to put another weed whipper head on this, but that's not what we're doing right now, so I'm not too concerned. That thing was on there really tight. I don't know how they got it on there that tight. That was very strange, unless it corroded on there somehow. But it doesn't look like it corroded on there. So So we have the plastic shroud. That's very odd. Oh yeah, I guess it does go that way. Yeah, don't mind me. I really don't know what I'm doing. And then this goes in here somehow. All right, I got my wrench in. How's that for a better angle? So I'm just going to hold this down and tighten it from the bottom. It's that rotation on the motor. It sends everything flying. It makes it such an issue. I'll just get all three of these tightened down. Alright, so we got that gun there good and tight. And so we can go ahead and move on to the next step. So we got this on, all tightened up. Now, the next step is to put in the spacer. They give you several spacers, and I very scientifically figured out exactly the method. It could be this, It could be this, or it could be this with this. After very scientifically figuring it out, it's this with this. So what we want to do then is make a huge mess with grease, because I found my grease. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, yeah, no, I did not really eat that. Next step, we get on the handles. That was actually the first steps, but I really wanted to get this on here. I mean, look at how pretty that looks. I mean, this thing's ready to go. I mean, it's just about the safety equipment now. You know, do you really need that safety equipment? Yeah. So, we'll get that safety equipment on here, and then we'll be able to ready to see how well it works and if it'll cut. I mean, this is kind of it's not exactly what I hoped it to be for a blade. I don't know how well that's going to work, but we'll see, I guess. I was hoping for something that would be actually sharpened. This is not sharp at all. I mean, yeah, I don't think, when I can do this, yeah, that's probably not going to be sharp enough to cut through the stuff that I want to cut through. Okay, so we're still experiencing some problems. However, the issue seems to be coming from the engine end. I'm actually thinking it's probably just a gummed up carb. So we're going to have to get all that cleaned up and figured out because it just doesn't have the torque. As soon as it hits it, it could be hitting grass and it dies. So that's where we're at for this. So much for there's no engine issues. There's some engine issues. It's probably, like I said, a gummed up carb, so we'll have to take that apart and clean it up.